Hey, it's Dusty Thunder again, and this time I have an Am I the Devil story for you. Yeah, it's like Am I the Astronaut, but spicier. Am I the Astronaut for telling my daughter to learn some social skills and make friends her own age? I have a 19-year-old daughter, Samantha. Samantha doesn't have many friends. She rarely leaves the house except for school or work and never brings people over. She never stays late at school or tries to talk to anybody either. Part of it is because all she talks about is kids. She loves kids, works with kids, and is in school to work with kids, her dog, musicals, and baking. My other kids are the exact opposite. I'd get into arguments with them because they were never at home, but at least they had social lives, friends, and boyfriends. Sure, they got into trouble, but I'd rather that than Samantha never going out or talking to anybody. Samantha is in a math class with a professor that encourages the kids to work together and talk to each other. I thought this would be great for Samantha, and I was stoked when she said that she and some other people started a study group. Then she told me about the group. There's her, another 19-year-old girl, a 30-year-old man, a 35-year-old woman, and a 45-year-old woman. The worst part is that she mostly only talks to the 35 and 45-year-olds. We just went to a graduation party for a girl that's exactly like Samantha. The girl didn't know anybody at the party except for her sister and looked miserable the entire time. She talked to two people at the party, a girl close to her age who works a similar job to her and has a pet, so they talked about work, kids, and their pets, and a woman 15 years older than her who has a job very similar to what Samantha wants to do, and all they talked about was school and that future job. When we were driving home, we were talking about how sad it is that the graduate didn't know anyone at her own party, how she doesn't have any social skills, and that she's going to have a hard time finding a job because she doesn't know how to talk to people. Samantha stayed quiet, and I told her if she doesn't figure out how to talk to people and start talking to kids her own age, she's going to end up exactly like the graduate. She didn't say anything in the car, but when we got home, she packed a bag, got in the car, and went to my mother-in-law's house. My mother-in-law has always coddled her and told her there's nothing wrong with her, and when she's asked, has gone so far as to yell at me, kick me out of their house, and even threatened to take me to court for money that my husband and I borrowed but never paid back, when I did say that there probably is something wrong with her if she doesn't know how to talk to people like a normal person. My mother-in-law also blames me and my other kids for Samantha being the way she is. Samantha used to tell everyone everything when she was younger, and we used to make fun of her for it. Samantha's friends also preferred to hang out with my older daughter when she brought her friends over, but it's not my fault that her friends found my older daughter more interesting. Am I the astronaut for telling her to learn social skills and talk to people? Okay, so I have just returned from a 9-hour tour through the comments, which was a massive rabbit hole, and learned a lot of frightening shit. OP is a principal. OP's daughter appears to be on the spectrum or neurodivergent, and although she hasn't been tested, checks a lot of the boxes. However, it's OP's approach here about trying to fit her child inside of a box that really bugs the shit out of me. There are more opportunities today for neurodivergent children, for people on the spectrum, to be successful than there ever has been before. There are more ways to communicate. There are more niche things that you can get into and find a tribe in. There are more opportunities for people to be 100% themselves and be successful and be happy and not have to be uncomfortable every day, all day long. To have a mother who happens to be a school principal, by the way, has very little bearing on this except for it's a little bit scary, that can't see that fostering the individualism in a child is beneficial scares the shit out of me. But I think this is a lot more common than we think it is. The mentality that you have to be an outgoing social salesperson to be successful in life is no longer applicable. It's not that way anymore. You can be successful in that way if you choose to, but if you are not that kind of person, there is a whole world out there waiting for you. And chances are there's a million people just like you who would love to talk to you and love to build a community with you. This girl, instead of being encouraged to be herself in every way possible, has been taught to basically be ashamed of herself in every way possible. And this mother has a level of harmful ignorance that her daughter knew what to do with. She packed a bag and got away. There are all kinds of other red flags throughout this as well, but there are all kinds of other red flags here, but that is the main theme. The main theme is that instead of accepting her and allowing her to accept herself and encouraging her to thrive in her individualism, even if she's on the spectrum, especially if she's on the spectrum, especially especially if she's neurodivergent, especially if she only can communicate with specific people about niche things. Why wouldn't you fertilize that? Why wouldn't you do everything you could to have her chase the things that made her most comfortable? It breaks my heart to see kids try to be put in a box. You don't know what they're going to be passionate about. And really, until you find what they're going to be passionate about, or you allow them to try different things to find what they're going to be passionate about, they don't know either. They're just following whatever plan you have set forth for them. This mom just tried to put her in a box, and it didn't work. And she can't get through her head why it didn't work, and thinks that there's just something wrong with her. There must be, right? Because she's not an outgoing socialite. Ugh. Yes, OP, you are, this is an Am I the Devil? So we don't have a devil scale. I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, you are definitely the asshole. Well, let's see here. We've got ascon 1 is there's no way you should have done that. You're a terrible human being. Ascon 2 is you definitely shouldn't have done that, but it doesn't make you a terrible person. Ascon 3 is you probably should have approached that differently. And ascon 4 is you probably could have approached that differently. Maybe you're an asshole. Maybe you're not. My gut reaction here is that mom's an ascon 1 because she can't see beyond herself. She can't see beyond her own rigid parameters that she grew up with. And it's not that world anymore, but also individualism mattered just as much back then as it does now. But now it's so much easier to be successful. It doesn't have to be as painful as it was because there are so many more niche opportunities for people. I think trying to stifle this kid and everything that she says about her daughter makes it seem like she just not hates, but she's embarrassed by her. She's embarrassed by her daughter. This OP is ashamed and embarrassed by her daughter. And that's sad. That's all the evidence that you need. She doesn't understand, so she's just ashamed and embarrassed. Instead of trying to help her daughter use the tools that she has to be a passionate, happy, successful individual, she tries to completely change her. I'm an ascon 1 for that. Let me know what you guys think, though. Of course, you know, our opinions are shaped by our life experiences, so you're going to see something different than I do here, and I'm always eager to hear other opinions and learn from you. So, what do you see here?